when we're ready to write our summary, we're going to be writing in the practice side of our writer's notebook. Okay, and the last thing we've written is our Big Cheese Nadine. So, oh, just kidding. We have the ish summary. So our ish summary is after our Big Cheese Nadine. So on the next page, we can write our Jabari Jumps summary. Okay. I'm going to put this over here. Here we go. Carolina, can you see the video spinning? Great.
I can. So today we're going to find the theme of a book called Jabari Jumps. Okay, so remember our steps for the theme are...
That's not what we want. We already did that. We want this video and writing the summary. Sorry, guys. Now we're ready. Uh-oh. This one doesn't look right either. That says ish.
Today we're going to talk about a summary and how to summarize. What is a summary? A summary is a brief or short recap of the most important parts of a text. And you have to write it in the reader's own words. So you're not repeating or using the words of the author. You're not telling all the details of the text. You're just telling the most important parts. Okay? Otherwise, it would be a retell. Those are a lot longer. So today we're going to talk about 3 easy steps to summarize a fiction text. Okay? The first step is read. The second step is pause. And the third step is write. Those are pretty easy steps, correct? So when we read, we're reading to gather important information. So we might need to take some notes while we read. And when we talked about theme, we talked about reading to find out who the characters were, what the problem was, the events that took place in the story, how the problem was solved, and then if the character changed or learned anything. Okay. So last, you're going to, as you pause, you're going to ask yourself, is this important enough to include in the summary? Remember, it's not a retell. We're not telling everything. And then finally, you write your summary using your own words. Okay. So we are going to go through these steps for the book today.
Topic sentence.
So the topic sentence is the IVF. So we're going to do that for Jabari Jumps. So we're going to start with our IVF. And I'm going to split it out just like we did for our ish summary. So we're going to say Jabari Jumps. And our date today is 9/3/2020. And I like to highlight the title of my new entry. Okay. All right. So the IVF. All right. Unmute yourself if you can remind us what the I stands for. What do we?
Identification.
Yeah. Identify the text. Beautiful.
Identify.
So we're going to say Jabari Jumps by Kaya. What is the name of the author according to the schedule?
Gia Cornwall.
Gia, is it G-I-A?
No, G-A-I-A.
Will you spell her last name for us too?
Cornwall.
Perfect. And this is the title of a book, so I'm going to capitalize it and underline it. Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwall. Okay, thank you, Kaya. What does the V stand for?
Verb.
Verb. So here are some good verbs for an IVF. We can use tells, we can use explains, we can use describes. Unmute yourself and shout out a verb that we should use for this summary.
Explain.
All right. The first one I heard was explains, but a lot of you said describes, and if you want to use describes, you may.
Explains.
All right. Then our last job is the F. Unmute yourself if you remember what the F stands for.
Finish.
Yeah.
Finish information.
Yes. Finish your thought with the main idea. So now we have to stop and think about our discussion about the theme. What do we think is the story or the main idea of the story? Or we could even think about it as the theme. What would you say is the main idea or the theme of this book, Jabari Jumps? You might look back at your reader's notebook to see your notes. Carolina, do you have an idea for the main idea or the theme?
That don't be scared to try new things.
Don't be scared to try new things. Yep, you can tell that. You can say that here. Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwall explains that you should not, or we could say a story, explains a story about not being afraid to try new things. Yes?
I have another question.
Yep.
Can we use tells for the verb?
Yes, you can. Yep, you can pick the verb that you like best. Explains, tells, or describes. Good question. Kaya, do you have another idea for the finish your thought?
No.
You might also say Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwall explains a story about that, or explains how feeling scared is okay. That's what we had in our notes. You could put that too. You can choose the theme or the finish your thought, the main idea that you like best. Okay. Now, once we have our IVF like this, our I and our V and our F, we're just going to put it together into a topic sentence. Okay, and that topic sentence, just like you all said, is the first sentence of our summary. And so it's going to become the first sentence of our paragraph. So what do we do at the beginning of a paragraph? Unmute yourself and tell me, what do we do?
Indent.
Okay. So I'm going to start my paragraph down here, and I'm going to skip over so that it's indented, and I'm going to put these words together from my IVF into a sentence that stays inside the margins. So Jabari Jumps, we're just copying the same words. Underline. This is the title of a book by Gia Cornwall. Explains. And then whatever you put was your finish your thought or the big idea. Story about not being afraid to try new things. Period. Okay, Bobby and Nico, will you please turn on your cameras? And don't turn them off until 3 o'clock. Bobby and Nico, Camera's on until 3 o'clock. Camera's on at 8:45, off at 3 o'clock. Okay, lots of you are finishing up your first sentence. So now I'm going to suggest that we turn our notes here from our reader's notebook into the rest of our summary. Okay, so we can just tell the series what the problem was, what happened, and how the problem was solved. Okay, so we can just turn these notes into complete sentences, and then that will make us a paragraph. So, who would like to give us the next sentence of our summary paragraph? Will you raise your hand? How about Naya?
First, Jabari wanted to jump off the diving board, but he was too scared.
I love it. I love your transition word first. Jabari wanted to jump off the diving board, but he was too scared. Are you writing this down, Maggie? Okay. Sean, are you writing this down? Give me a thumbs up, Sean, if you can hear me. All right. Kaya, can you give us the next sentence for our summary paragraph?
The first event that happened in the story was Jabari was watching the other kids jump off the diving board.
I love it. Okay, I think I got exactly what Kaya said. The first event that happened in the story was Jabari watched the other kids jump off the diving board. Did I get it, Kaya?
Yeah.
Oh, remember to teach eggs. Oh, hi.
Hey, hi. Are you on the full schedule?
You want to see my classroom?
Or new schedule?
Come look. I'll introduce you to my class.
Oh, I didn't comb my hair.
Come in. This is my mom. There they are.
Hello.
In the third grade. We're writing a summary.
Hi.
Hi. Hey.
My
Miss
mom
Moore,
my
your
mom used
mother-
to be an English teacher.
I did.
Whoa.
I know all about
Bye.
summaries. Bye.
All right. Who can give us our next sentence for our summary?
Old set schedule.
How about, let's see, I've heard from Naya, I've heard from Kaya. How about Gabby?
I accidentally forgot to put my hand down.
Oh, no problem. How about Carolina?
was he got too scared and he made an excuse that he forgot to do his stretches.
Yeah, that's one of the details. Yeah. Or we could put something like this, these are our notes from when we read the story. He climbed to the top but was too scared to jump. So then you could add, like Carolina said, oh yeah, and then he made that excuse about stretching, right? But the gist was he climbed to the top but was too scared to jump. But I liked, Carolina, how you used the word then. So we can say then, and we can say he as a pronoun because we already established that we're writing about Jabari. So we can say then he to jump. I'm going to add what Carolina said as a second sentence because it just gives a little bit more detail where she said he made an excuse about forgetting his stretches. Which you can add or not. That's your choice. It's your paragraph. Period. Khalil, do you have an idea for our next sentence?
No, but can you go to the bathroom?
Yes. Kate, do you have an idea for our next sentence?
His dad said feeling scared is okay, and it's kind of like a surprise.
His dad gave him that little pep talk, remember? Did you say, what was the first word of your sentence, Kate? I forgot.
Last.
Okay, I think I captured what you said, Kate. I was kind of looking at my notes. So you said last, his dad said that feeling scared was okay, and it was kind of like feeling surprised. I get it.
Do I go to Miss Crawford?
Ms. Ike? Yes, I do think so. 1:15, I think.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, are you writing this down?
Oh, Miss Crawford?
Yes.
Can you maybe take a picture or a video for
Yep, I'm going to do a video.
Okay.
It'll be there. Our last two sentences will be there.
Thank you, because
You're
I
welcome.
couldn't finish it.
You're welcome. And Nico, are you going to go see Ms. Ike also? You have 2 more minutes if you want to finish up your sentence that you're working on. I'm going to zoom in. How's that? I see somebody working hard to see. So while you're waiting, you can look back at your notes in your reader's notebook and figure out what would you put for the last sentence. Yes, what would you put for the last sentence? Naya, you gave us our first sentence. Do you have an idea for the last sentence too? I see you, Kaya.
Yeah, all in all, the theme of the story was it's okay to be scared.
Yes, I love that. What were you going to say, Kaya?
I was gonna say, in the end of the story, Jabari learned that it's okay to feel scared.
Yeah. You know what we forgot to mention? Well, we forgot to
The
mention.
characters in the setting.
Well, what we really forgot to mention was that Jabari jumped off the diving board.
Solution.
Yeah, the solution.
I put when he jumped off the diving board.
Tell me more, Gabby. When he jumped off the diving board, that's the start of a good sentence. How did you finish it up? When he jumped off the diving board.
I said finally, Jabari was brave enough to jump off the diving board.
Let's combine your two ideas. So Kaya and Naya had great ideas for that, what I had asked for the last sentence, but I forgot this one. So we'll say, finally, Jabari was brave enough to jump off the diving board. Add Gabby's, thank you. Finally, comma. Was brave enough to jump off the diving board.
In the morning when I get out of bed,
Okay, Naya, will you say your sentence again? I feel like you mentioned the lesson. What did you say?
All in all, the theme of the story was it's okay to be scared.
Now, I'm going to squeeze, since I have just like one more sentence, I'm going to put it down here in the bottom. All in all, the theme of the story was it was okay to be scared. The great thing about this conclusion sentence is it matches our intro, our topic sentence that said that the story was about being afraid to try new things. And so we talked about in the end, the conclusion was he learned that it was okay to be afraid or scared. Afraid and scared are, what do we call those when two words mean the same? They're two different words, but they mean the same. Anybody remember? Shout it out.
Terrified and scared. Homophones.
Homophones are words that sound the same and mean different. What are two words that mean?
Antonyms.
Antonyms are words that mean the opposite. We're getting closer.
Synonyms.
Synonyms. I always think about it like this. The words that mean the same are synonyms. Like cinnamon, but not. Instead of cinnamon.
It's like a poem.
Yeah. We could make a poem. We could make a poem. All right. And there is our summary paragraph on Jabari jumps. Nice job.